Going to be wrapping up the defensive side of the ball today. We have all of the offensive side of the ball already covered here on YouTube. Go check that out on the Campfire Podcast YouTube channel. We have all the defensive side of the ball, defensive line, pass rush, corners, inside linebackers. We got it all covered over on the Campfire Podcast YouTube channel. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. And then check this one out, because we're going to be discussing the safety room, and I'm not alone today. One last time, one time for the one time, Mr. Gold Dust himself, I guess, Mr. James Hill, a.k.a. Mr. Bucs Nation. James, thank you for joining me once again.
I'm happy to be here once again. It's a beautiful, beautiful time to talk about. I mean, it's not even a debate. It's the best room in the Bucs defense.
It might like probably the second best room on the team, besides behind the receivers, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, right?
I think that's pretty fair. Like
some rooms have better depth.
Yeah.
But
dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like
we'll talk about it. Let's talk about who's in that safety room that we're talking about. First off, Marcus Banks, rookie from Mississippi State.
Things first. Marcus Banks.
Rashad Wisdom, the safety from UTSA.
Yeah.
Undrafted free agent. Christian Izien, who we mentioned in the corner video, right? Also going to throw a shout out to Josh Hayes, who will maybe play a little bit of safety. The Bucs have a couple of those guys. Kayvon Merriweather, Tyke Smith, who we also mentioned in the corner video. Then the two big ones, right, are Antoine Winfield Jr. Obviously got the big extension done, was a fantastic player. Far and away, I think the best player on the Bucs defense this past season. Think you could probably make a pretty solid argument that he's the best, player on the entire defense. He's one of the best players on the entire team, folks. Like him and Mike Evans, I think they're right there. Him, Mike Evans, Tristan Wirfs, those three guys, they're close.
That's a tough.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. And the return that many were hoping for when you looked at your free agent list, the return of Jordan Whitehead. How about that? Jordan Whitehead is back with the Buccaneers for one more go-around. Safety who was with the New York Jets for 2 years. Played pretty well with the Jets. Played pretty well with the Bucs. The Bucs just, didn't have the money to keep him. And, he ended up going elsewhere. And now he returns to the Bucs and is going to pair back up with Antoine Winfield Jr. And, look, the Ryan Neal experiment last season did not work, right? So the Bucs turned back. I find it very funny. So the Bucs let Jordan Whitehead go 2 years ago. And they try a bunch of things to replace Jordan Whitehead. And it doesn't work. So they're like, we tried to replace Jordan Whitehead. Why don't we just get Jordan Whitehead back? Like we can't replace him. So why don't we just get him back? So the replacement for Jordan Whitehead is Jordan Whitehead. So with that being said, what do you think of this room? As like I mentioned, we've talked about, it is arguably, I think, the second best room on the entire roster.
It's okay.
That Antoine Winfield Jr. guy's okay at football.
He's okay. He's
I don't know.
What 20th best safety in the league, probably something
Maybe
like that.
Not even. How many are there? 32 teams. He might be like, I don't know,
33, 33 maybe. No, but look, man, dude, I don't know. This might be the deepest unit in the.
You think so? You on the entire what
roster?
Whoa, you think so?
It might be.
Oh, dude!
I mean,
got Sterling Shepard as their wide receiver 5, and you're gonna tell me that's the deepest.
No, it probably still is. I would say it's wide receiver.
Did you forget about my king, Sterling Shepard?
No, I didn't forget about the king. It's got to be the second deepest group. Then.
Second, sure, I'll give you second, but
because,
I can't give you first.
Could you think about it?
Blasphemy.
Okay, well, listen, we already know how good Antoine Winfield Jr. is. He's probably the best safety in the league, arguably, whatever you want to say. He's probably the best safety in the league. He's getting paid like it, that's for sure. Jordan,
I think he's like, nobody signed a deal, right? Like, he's still the highest paid defensive back in NFL history right now.
As far as I know, yeah.
Nobody signed a deal after him, right? So
yeah, Jordan Whitehead, dude, he's pretty good.
He's a player.
He's pretty solid. After that, if Christian Izien, he's a solid role player, right? Tyke Smith is another solid role player. You have Kayvon Merriweather, who he made the roster last year as an undrafted guy and actually started a little bit last year, in certain situations. Those are just those are your 3 backups. You know what I mean? That's a pretty deep unit right there. Then after that, you've got some other guys like Josh Hayes, who's been more of a special teams guy throughout his career. So kind of iffy on that. Rashad Wisdom, an undrafted guy out of UTSA. And then you've got some other different guys in there as well. But you've got 5 really solid guys who you could say that. I mean, obviously, your 3 backups. If you said one of them was your starting safety, I'd be like, okay, he'll probably be solid. And then you have another guy in Josh Hayes. So it's a pretty deep group, man. It's a pretty deep group. But I feel great about how could you not? If you don't feel good about your 2 starting safeties at this point, you're sad. That's
you're just a hater.
Yeah, dude, you just don't like things. I don't know what to tell you at that point,
Yeah. Yeah, just call yourself Kendrick, right? Because you're hating everything.
It's
but
who would have thought that we would have got a freaking Kendrick Lamar reference in this video? Not me.
You never know. You never know
when we're gonna come up with something.
Say his name and he appears.
It's facts.
But I do agree that it's a deep group. I don't know if it's the second, right? With the high end, right? Antoine Winfield is so good.
Yeah.
That it's just he's so good. You
don't know if it's the second deepest group?
It's depth wise, I don't know. But here's why. Because a lot of the guys you mentioned, and this is a bonus, right? It's a plus. But Tyke Smith, Christian Izien, both those guys mostly played nickel, right? And they're probably gonna play nickel for this team.
Right.
So, can they play safety? Sure. They can play safety, but are they true safeties? I don't think so. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing, right? I'm not going to say I applauded them when we talk about the corners, right? The versatility that the cornerback room has because of guys like Tyke Smith. And
this is just real quick. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. This is a terrible example. Antoine Winfield Jr. played nickel corner.
The versatility. Yeah, I mean that's why I just don't know about the depth, right? I don't know off the top of my head, but another unit that's a little bit better, maybe. Who knows? Depth wise, the high end, sure. Antoine Winfield and Jordan Whitehead are almost toe to toe with Mike Evans or Chris Godwin when you're talking about duos, tandems,
yeah,
it's close, man.
It's close.
It really is. That's how good. And I think Chris Godwin as a receiver is better than Whitehead as a safety, but that tells you how good Winfield is, right? That the gap is not as wide. So I'm excited to see this unit. I really am. I'm excited to see Jordan Whitehead back in the red and pewter. Felt like it's a guy that they should have never let walk out the door, right? It's a guy that you should have just found a way to try and keep, and they weren't able to do it. So they did right or wrong and brought him back this time.
Didn't they even admit it in the press conference?
Yeah, I think Jason said something about
he was
that,
we shouldn't have let him go.
Yeah.
We're sorry, everyone.
Yeah. He's back now. All is forgiven, and he's ready to ball out in the Buccaneers. He's never. No. Yeah, he did. I was about to say he's never worn the new uniforms. But
he has. Yeah,
yes, he has. But he's never worn the new uniforms as number 3. So
it's true. Look at that.
There's that
new moment.
But with that being said, what do you guys think about the safety room? There's not really. Spots up for grabs, I think, are few and far between as far as guys trying to battle for final roster spots. I think it's pretty set on who they're going to be having in their safety room. Unfortunately for guys like Marcus Banks, Rashad Wisdom, safety at UTSA, that's sort of a tough situation for them. But I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions about that. Let us know. Do you think there's another level Antoine Winfield Jr. can go to? I don't know if there is, because that would just be godly. But
what do you want him to do at that point? Start throwing the ball to himself? I don't start playing quarterback out there. There's really not much more he can do.
Can play corner.
Can he start kicking? Yeah, hey, you know what? Just saying, Justin Reed kicks field goals and extra points.
That's right. Where you at, AWJ?
So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but let us know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for the return of Jordan Whitehead? Always curious to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions about that. Do you guys like the versatility? Do you guys think a guy like Tyke Smith or Christian Izien are going to play more safety than nickel corner? I do think it's a possibility. I don't know how likely it is, but I think it's possible. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. One last time, James, I want to thank you for joining me for the videos covering the whole defensive side of the football. Wasn't designed that way, but that's sort of how it happened.
That's how we roll, dude.
Covering the defensive side of the football. You do a great job over there, Mr. Bucs Nation. I was about to say Mr. Bucs
Clip
Nation.
that. Clip that.
But
somebody clip that. He said I do good.
Redact that. Redacted. Clip that. Anyways, thank you, James, for joining me. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And go Bucs.